to bring this every time because the moment you say Atma, Brahma, you get lost. You are not coming across an entity called Atma, Brahma, except thorough exposure in the Shastra. But pure consciousness principle, pure awareness principle is the very sum and substance of life. Maybe because of our preoccupation now in the world, to a very great extent, we may not have taken into account. But when the Shastra says, and in and through our each and every experience, which depict our life, which will give the picture of our life, this Chaitanya, pure conscious principle, is verily there as the very basis without which no, not a single experience or knowledge can ever be possible. So, if little alertness, if little effort we put forth, it is possible for us to focus our attention or at least be aware of this pure consciousness principle, which itself is divinity principle, God principle, principle of Atma, principle of Brahman. It is anything and everything that we perceive as this, as its very basis, adhisthana. So now the Upanishad says, Upanishad says that that same Brahma, the means to gain whose knowledge was elaborated so far, which are described so far, itself is this individual I who is parading in this world as samsari jiva. The individual, the sukha dukkhatmaka, full of joys and sorrows. So more sorrow, less joy. So that individual jiva, whose plight is very pitiable, very calamitous in terms of janma marana, and yet in reality, the jiva is nothing but Parabrahma Tattva, Paramatma Tattva, Bhagavat Tattva, the very I in all. But how this has happened? It is just like now, emperor becoming a beggar. That is, that it is possible. Here it can't be possible because Brahma is avikari, changeless. It cannot be anything otherwise. And yet it appears to be so. Therefore, Saeva Maya Parimohita. Saeva, that Paramatma only, that Bhagavat Tattva only, which are described so far, is what? Maya Parimohita. Being totally deluded by Maya Shakti, Prakriti Shakti. What happens? He is now parading as samsari jiva. But how did it happen? First, I don't know my swarupa. I don't know that I am the Chaitanya Tattva, ever existing in principle, never changing, never subject to sorrow, Paramananda Swarupa that I don't know. Individual level, we say avidya, self-ignorance. At the totality level of Jagat, we call it as what? Maya Shakti. Of course, I don't want to enter into detail of the Maya Shakti because Maya Shakti, I think I have told possibly, is only a postulate from the standpoint of ultimate reality. Postulate in the sense it is a supposition to support a theory or a proposition which afterwards shown to be something which cannot be proved. What is the problem? Problem is Brahman, the Sarvyapi, all pervasive Chaitanya, being avikari, it cannot become anything else. It can't change. And this Jagat, and again, the Chaitanya Brahma is a non-dual. What do you mean non-dual? There is nothing else whatsoever other than Chaitanya. And yet, moment by moment, 24 by 7, we are experiencing this variegated expanse of Jagat, Srishti, creation, having the features that are quite contrary to what Brahma Chaitanya is. How this has taken place. Upanishads, to begin with, to make us pursue the inquiry, give the theory. What is that? This Brahma, because of some power, Maya, not knowing itself, appears to become the Jagat or become the Jagat. It is just not possible. Why? Brahma can never change. Without change, no creation possible. And yet we are experiencing. So this was supposed because we don't know. For the reason we don't know. There is something like that. That's what we find in the Shvetashatra Upanishad. Great masters assembled together and started investigating what is that because of which the Jagat appeared. They went into contemplation, what is called tapas, in the sense, withdrew themselves from the preoccupation of the world. And when they were totally impervious of the Jagat, when the Jagat was totally out of the range of their cognition, Therein they discover something like this. We don't know what it is actually, which gives a topsy-turviness to this Brahma and makes it appear like Jagat. But in reality, it has never became so. So therefore, they term it as a Maya. Maya Parimohita. Like deluded as it were. This is to begin with to satisfy our cause hunting intellect. But when we prepare our mind as guided by Shastra and go beyond the realm of mind, wherein there is no cognition whatsoever of this perceived Jagat, even to the least extent, we discover our Chaitanya Swarupa free from all falsely attributed or superimposed Jagat. Shastra comes and tells you, my dear, this is your Swarupa. There is no trace of any creation. The so-called Maya, which was postulated so far, drops. What remains is Chaitanya and Chaitanya. In Skandopanishad, the beautiful definition of dhyana. First, it defines dhyana and then dhyana. Advaita darshanam jnanam. Knowledge means only one thing. What is it? Advaita darshanam. The direct cognition of non-dual Chaitanya and Chaitanya only to the total exclusion of entire Drishya Jagat. Jnana. Dhyanam nirvishayam manaha. Very beautiful definition. What is dhyana? Meditation. Nowadays, all spree of meditation is there. There are any numbers of meditation techniques suited to your purse in the market. That word has become such a money spinning word. But true dhyana is what? Dhyanam nirvishayam manaha. You make your mind nirvishaya, free from vishayas, free from sense object. That is free from cognitions of being aware of Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. And now you should know what they are. Shabda, sound. Sparsha, touch. Rupa, form. Rasa, taste. Gandha, smell. There is no sixth sense object. And all our experiences are nothing but permutation, combination of all these five. There may be innumerable types of sense enjoyment, but they are mixing of these five. Dhyanam nirvishayam mana. Mind free from Vishaya, therein our Swarupa gets displayed, gets exhibited without any effort on our part. That is our Swarupa. Anam Nishramana. So therefore, in Vedanta, at the final lap, wherein we can be aware of, we can cognize our Swarupa, Vishayas, sense objects, have no entry. Even if little trace is there, foul, you are not face to face, as it were, the Swarupa, the true nature. Now, the same Brahma, which was so far discussed, Maya Parimohita. So now you know Maya means we can't explain something is there, but it has what effect? It shows something which is not there. Parimohitatma. What does he do? He undergoes the experiences of three states of consciousness. Avastha-traya. Waking state, dream state, deep sleep state. Wherein one common factor is there. What is that? Shariram asthaya. Having identified with the body. First, the state wherein identifying with the physical body, gross body is given. And what does he do? He interacts with the world, interacts with the sense pleasure objects. So they are described there by a phrase, Sri Annapanadi Vichitra Bhogai. Varieties of sense pleasure of which we think give us happiness. So what happens in the waking state, this deluded entity called Jiva, who in reality is not different from Brahma, undergoes all waking state experiences. Thereafter, same Jiva in the dream state, wherein the gross body and external senses are withdrawn. Mind projects a Jagat called Sapna dream, which doesn't have a corresponding gross world in the case of waking. And it undergoes those experiences in terms of Sukha Dukkha, all are Kalpita, so they are imagined. Further, the same entity, Jiva, Maya, Parimohitatma, who is reality is nothing but Brahma, whatever. Sushupti Kale, during the deep sleep state, wherein Sakale Viline, entire creation, entire Jagat, hitherto experienced either in the waking state or the dream state or what? Vilina has got merged, as it were, as nothing, absence of everything. And there what happens? Overpowered by ignorance. Tamobhibhuta. Sukharupam eti. Eti prapnoti gains. Sukharupam Ananda Swarup. The happiness that is one's true nature, the jiva goes, attains, but we are not aware of it. Why? Overpowered by tamo vibhuta, ignorance. Ignorance of not only everything, ignorance of oneself, I. In sleep, you don't know even I am. But after waking up, you recollect what is called pratyabhidnya. The I, which was experiencing the waking state, which underwent the dream experiences, now having withdrawn from all this, I am in what state wherein I don't know anything, I don't know even myself, but I am verily that which is recollected, pratyabhidnya. Then what happens? All these waking, dream, and deep sleep state are monitored, guided by karma phalas. Not just like that. Karma phalas that give rise to waking state certain period, then dream certain period, then sleep certain period. They are cyclic. Once that karma phala, which we have to give the experience of deep sleep, gets over, depending on the immediate next karma phala, either dream or waking, the individual pursue. He may go against the dream or he may wake up. So that is now told by Punascha 16. This we have to see. Punascha Janmantara Karma Yoga. Yoga, you have not Jnana Yoga, etc., Karma Yoga, etc. Connection with karma means karma phala. Again with connection to the past results of action, which have now fructified as prarabdha karma, which gives all experiences in the present embodiment from birth to death, which may include Atma Dhyana also, or anything else. So, Janmantara Karma Yoga, because of connection, Saeva Jivaha, same Jiva was Brahma, Maya Parikalpitatma, underwent waking state, underwent deep sleep, underwent dream state, underwent deep sleep state. Now, Jiva, Swapiti Prabuddha, either goes to dream or waking state. So this cycle goes on continuing. One entity, Jiva, undergoing the three states of consciousness: Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, waking, dream, and deep sleep. How? What the duration? Factor that disturb duration? Karma phala. Even to get sound sleep, you should have that karma phala. You know, in the case of Ramana Maharshi, when he was a boy, children fight, quarrel, etc. And some have got an account to settle with others. So those who had account to settle with Ramana Maharshi, He was strong. They could not do when he was awake. But his nature was that once he sleeps, he undergoes such a sound sleep, even others beat him, he is not aware of it. And the boss to take advantage of this. When they are sleeping, they will just crash it. We are not aware. That is a karmaphala. Something great boon it is. There was such a sound deep sleep. Some people disturb sleep, etc. All karmaphala to is ever. This way, built or guided by karmaphalas, which gives rise to waking state experiences, gives rise to dream state experiences, gives rise to deep state experiences. Jivaha Puratraye Kridati. Kridati, sports in three Puras, three cities. What are the three cities? Gross body, subtle body, and causal body. I hope you know them. Physical body, gross body. Mind, intellect, antakarana, subtle body. The state of ignorance, avidya, wherein these two are not there. That is causal body, not casual body. Causal body. Because the cause for both waking and the dream state being avidya. So, Kridati, and with that same jiva, and do you know who is this jiva? Don't take him for granted. Don't take him lightly. Don't undermine because what happens to a samsari jiva? Says the jiva is the one tatastu. From that very jiva, sakalam vichitram jatam. Sakalam, entire, entire. What? Vichitram jagat. Vichitra. The local language means strange. It's not stranger. Vichitra means also varieties of types, variegated, of different types. Sakalam word jagat jatam born. The jiva is the one from whom entire cosmos is born. Will you agree? Will you agree? When this is possible? It is possible only if the jiva in reality is Parabrahma Tattva. That is what is being pointed out. My dear, don't mistake the jiva as a samsari. It appears so because of your error, your wrong notion, born of not knowing what your true nature is. But it is not the truth. Truth is the jiva in reality is nothing but Parabrahmatam. On account of this upadhi, conditioning of ignorance of oneself and consequent identification with the product of ignorance, body, etc., appears as helpless, mean, wretched, samsari. The error That's why in Vedanta, first capital that you need as a what they call seed money, seed capital, minimum capital is Shraddha. Have Shraddha, conviction that what is told by Vedas, Upanishads, Shastras, Bhagavan, Avatar, Guru, who follow Shastra is true, however, contrary to our experience, it may appear. First accept and then proceed. So therefore the truth is Tataha, from that Jiva who appears to be so Jiva, but none other than Brahma, Paramatma, Sakalam Vichitram Jatam, all this Jagat is born. And do you know what is in the Sarupa, true nature? It is like this. Adharamanandam akanda bodham yasmin layam yati puratrayam cha. It is the Jiva in reality. You know what is meant by Jiva? That Chaitanya, which gets reflected in Antakarna. What is Antakarna? Mana, Buddhi, Ahankara, and Chittam, not Chit. Chittam. Mana, thoughts in a stage of consideration. Is this way or that way? Buddhi, decisiveness, Nishchayatmika. Their mana is what? Sankalpa Vikalpatmaka. This way, that way. Buddhi, Nishchayatmika, firm decisiveness. Then Chittam. Chittam is Anusandhanatmika. All are thoughts only, Antakara Vrittis only. Anusandhanatmika, like which refers to the past. Like say you refer a file like that. So you recollect what was experienced earlier, Anusandhana, the Chintana of the past. You be aware of what happened in the past. That is Chittam, memory, faculty of memory. Then Ahankar, that I notion, erroneous I notion in all these Deha, Mana, Buddhi, Prana, etc. Why do you say it is an erroneous I notion? Because what you take as I, whether gross body, pranas, antakarana, all by themselves are inert. But we know for certain, whatever that I entity may be, that I is not inert, it is Sachetana sentient. That being the case. Inert gross body, I can't be. Pranas, vital as inert, I can't be. Mind, intellect, etc., inert, I can't be. Ignorance, inert, I can't be. That which enlivens them and make them appear sentient, that is me, Chaitanya. So, is the, and what happens is, among all these, that antakarana is there, no? Mana, buddhi, ahankara, chittam. Because of being constituted of, because of being made up of Panchamahabhutas in their tanmatra form, in their nascent form, before mutual before self-division and mutual combination to become gross elements. In that native state, what happens is from that the antakarana is made, and being subtle in nature, they said that antakarana has a capacity to reflect, as it were, Chaitanya, just light everywhere, but where smooth surface, shining surface, where it gets reflected. So it gets reflected. And that reflected Chaitanya, we call it Chidabhasa, Abhasa, semblance, appearance like Chit. And here is the blunder. What the blunder? We know for ourselves what our identity may be, it is Sachetana. That's it. And here at the level of Suksharira or this Antakarana, Suksharira means the faculties of five sense organs, faculties of five organs of action, then five pranas, Mana Buddhi Ahankara Chittam, together is called Suksharira, subtle body, distinct from the physical body. That reflected entity Chidavasa is the one with Jiva. Reflection of Chaitanya. But the problem is not knowing that I am Chaitanya, free from all these body, mana, buddhi, ahankara, chitta. It takes them to be part and parcel of oneself. And all vagaries, all sorrows, all limitations, all diseases, all restlessness belonging to the mistakes as my feature, mistakes as my nature. It is samsara. So Vedanta makes you discriminate, do viveka between Chit, Chaitanya, pure consciousness, you and this embodiment. And the blunder that is there is, these inner things cannot be I, but they appear to be sentient, and that is what taken as I. So that needs to be, that mistake needs to be, has to be set right by proper self-inquiry as guided by Shastra, for which certain preparation of the mind needs to be taken to our value structure, need to be re-engineered. So that is how the process starts. And if we are ready to proceed further, Shastra, Guru, Bhagavan will certainly lead us. And therefore, to begin with, now come and tell me, what is the seed capital? Shraddha. Because I experience myself to be totally contrary to what the Shastra says. But it can't be wrong. It is so. It needs further investigation for which I must be available. If I don't have Shraddha, I will discard what nonsense these people are talking. This is Shastra. What Shastra? There's no, nowadays no. Modern trend, as if the big heroes. If God is there, show me now. have you discovered the mistake in this statement or request? If God is there, show me. What can you show? Form, rupa, means you have already taken for granted God is an entity which has got a form, rupa, can be seen by the eye. Who told you? Your concept. You are asking something which is not the nature of God. You don't know also. You think you are such a great scientist and all that. So, first, what is that God principle, divinity principle, has to be ascertained, because it is not only free from form, rupa, it is also free from shabda, sparsha, rasa, gandha. Therefore, it is imperceptible. It cannot be pointed out as this. That is what Kenobushas, the master there, raised the arms up. We don't know. How can we teach exactly this? All that we can say is, this is what we got the teaching from the great master of the past. We proceeded and discovered. But if you expect us to point out this Atma Brahma as this, like this horse, this cow, this car, this tree, we straight to say, sir, not possible. Not because of our incapacity, but the Vastu entity is such. Same thing you find the Brihadaranyaka. Big debate is going on the Royal Assembly of Janaka. And Janaka had announced a big prize, 1,000 cows decked with gold. That gold, once I calculated, it was running to hundreds of kgs. Horns were decked with the gold, hooves were decked with the silver. And Janaka announced, one who among you is the greatest Brahmavid, Brahmajnani, exalted Brahma, can take away this. Full of great scholars. Nobody had the courage. Yajnavalkya was not interested in the cows, but he thought, if I know what the truth is, if I don't make these people understand, they will have a wrong notion that no, there's no one here who knows what it is all about. At the same time, the problem was for him, he can't claim himself the Brahmajnani, because Brahman is such that to call him a Jnani, you are taking for granted mind. See, Jnana, Ajnana, knowledge and ignorance at the level of the mind, intellect. In Brahma, they are not there. And when you say Jnani, you are identifying with the body and your intellect. You can't say. At the same time, he has to make them understand what Brahma is. So he calls his one disciple, prominent disciple. Drive this home, there's the ashram. Then all scholars pounce upon. Yajnavalkya, do you think that you are exalted Brahmavid? Yajnavalkya folds his And I don't claim, but presently I want these cows. They are not that fools to take me for at the literal saying. The debate starts. One among them says, please point me out Brahma at this. The other says, I will tell you, point out Aupanishadam Purusha. Purusha, Atma, Brahma, unfolded in the Upanishads. But I cannot point out like this because it is not available. And debate goes on, etc. They're very particular about that this teaching cannot be totally based on reasoning. Reasoning is taken to understand better, but not. When the pramana is Upanishad only. Based on that, they teach. So that being the case, it cannot be pointed out as this. So therefore it is, but at the same time, it is adharam, the very basis of entire jagat, of all experiences of ours, without which you can't be aware of anything, nothing can have existence. So that adharam, adhisthana, not adha support like fruits in the basket. No, it's like this. For that mistaken snake, rope is the adhara support basis. If you understand that, you should understand this. For a mistaken snake, the rope is the adhara, the basis. If it are not there, this can't be there. Mistaken snake cannot be there. If Brahman Chaitanya were not there, the empirical jagat cannot be there. Same time, no. Maybe it's a basis. So what? Why should I bother about that? No, 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 no. Anandam. It is nothing but limitless happiness. The happiness that one can gain through all sense pleasures in the world put together can only be an infinitesimal portion of Brahmananda. If Brahmananda is compared to an ocean, all Vishaya Sukhas, sense pleasure gained by all embodiment from the top to the bottom can be only not even equivalent to a spray particle in Brahmananda. Anandam. Maybe, but you depend on something to explain that. No? For us to enjoy the good things, we have to depend on many things. No, 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 no. It is self-evident. Swaprakasha. Swayam Jyoti. It is what is called Akhanda Bodham. Akhanda. No division. All pervasive. Bodha. Bodha is here self-knowing knowledge principle. Self-experiencing Anubhava Swarupa. Self-evident. That is what we also can verify. When we say, I am, Don't bother what is the nature of that I. Sukha, dukkha, don't worry. I am is something which is Swaprakasha, Swayam Jyoti, self-evident, not known through the instrumentations of either Jnanendriya, sense organs, or mind intellect. On the contrary, this principle makes Jnanendriyas and mind intellect capable of knowing. The Akhanda Bodha is the primary, that is all pervasive, self evident knowledge principle. That is, and Yasmin, in which Puratrayam cha layam yati. Puratraya, three cities. What are they? Gross, the waking state, dream state, and causal state, or bodies. Gross body, subtle body, and the sleep causal body. They merge. Cha is there. The cha is for and for entire Jagat. In this Jiva, we are not different from the Brahma. So, who undergoes these, experience the three states of consciousness, is the very basis of entire Jagat. Paramanda Sarupa, itself very self-evident knowledge principle, in which at Pralaya, at the time of dissolution, all these three bodies and the entire perceptible Jagat Layam Yati merges back. What remains is this Chaitanya Adharam Akhanda Bodha only. So, entire Jagat merges with it. And again from that, it emerges. It gets projected further. Gets merged and again emerges. So this way, Srishti Sthiti Laya. Srishti Sthiti Laya. Creation, sustenance, and dissolution. This process goes on. Until we discover our Swarupa to be this Brahma. That is how it emerges back now. That is now being told in the next mantra. We'll see next time. One announcement. Presently, all videos are put off from next Saturday, Sunday. Saturday, Vishnu Sahasranama. Sunday, Kaivalyopanishad. These videos will be kept on, but speaker will be mute. And I expect you all to put your videos on so that I can have, that is, eye-to-eye contact with you. Presently, as if I'm talking to myself. So I want to try this. We'll decide further afterward whether to continue or not, depending on the feedback, so that I can know, like in a virtual class, eye-to-eye contact is better for, because the speaker, teacher also gets the feedback, whether they have understood, not understood, how much has gone over the head, how much they pretend as if by nodding the head, how much they have understood. Nodding the head also a different way. Some people have got the habit of nodding, whether they understand or not. But when their nodding is vigorous, now he has understood, like that. Anyway, possible that I can get some feedback. If it doesn't work, we'll stop it. But from next onward, please cooperate by keeping it on. ठीक है? ओम.
स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्ताम् न्यायेन मार्गेण महीमहीषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम् लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ